Get that dialed in for y'all. Get my shoes on. And today, we're kind of doing a continuation of the last stream. We're going to talk about the process of change. Latches going on. I'll have to get some new ones. But we will do it. Latches going on. I'll have to get some new ones. But we will do it. Latches going on. I'll have to get some new ones. But we will do it. Check, check, check. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. My bad, y'all. I just cut Bluetooth off. Maybe that helps. I had no idea y'all couldn't hear me this whole time. I had so many good things I was saying. I'm sorry. But I'll go ahead and repeat the majority of what I was saying. The process of change. Oh, goodness. It's like a lot of times they tell us, you know, the things we eat, how we eat is hereditary or whatever, when really it's just what we see when we're young. But you may see your parents eat a certain way, You may see your peers and eating and doing certain things. And people just want to fit in naturally. But in the process of change, you may start to go to the gym for your first time, and you get really sore. And you might ask yourself within that first 1 to 2 weeks, why am I doing this? I don't see any results. You may feel a bit, but you don't see them yet. One of the things I kept telling myself, it didn't take a day to get in this position. It's not going to take a day to get out of it. Sometimes you got to be the change you want to see, because no one around you may be doing it. And that can be hard. It can be very difficult. A lot of people will say, oh, I'll start my journey whenever I finish this cake that I just bought, or whenever New Year's gets here, it's going to be a new me. You're putting it off on the future. When in the future, you're going to be older. When you're older, it gets harder. There's no better time than right now to make a change. As soon as you have a thought, act on it in that moment. There's a reason you're having that thought to begin with. Let that be your reasoning. Remember, it didn't take you a day to get there. It's not going to take a day to reverse, so. It's a matter of willpower, dedication, discipline, and consistency. You may have people around you, that they may judge when you start changing the way you eat. Like, oh, you're not going to drink the full Pepsi, you're going to get the diet, or you're not going to come out to the restaurant with us. The more you stick to it for yourself, the more results you're going to see. You're not cheating yourself. You're treating yourself. Before you know it, you may be the inspiration for those people. They start to see how good you're feeling, how you start to look better, and that may motivate them to want to change. Sometimes you just got to be that change you want to see in order to inspire others as well. It can be done. Alright, we're going to get off the saddle here, increase the resistance, and I'm going to increase my heart rate by doing that. Pedaling slower will increase my heart rate more, just by increasing the resistance and standing up. I'm at 121 right now in the heart rate. I'm about to get up to 140 just by this slow pedal. Already at 127, slowly rising. So in that process of change, you have to be relentless in your dedication to yourself. There's going to be a lot of temptations out there. I mean, you can go outside and look at the amount of money they put in the commercials and the billboards. McDonald's, Wendy's, DoorDash. Everywhere you turn, there's going to be temptation. I'm not saying you can never ever eat those foods, but it takes some discipline to know when and what to eat if you do decide to eat out. Putting a lot of work in. And once you learn how to make your meals low calorie, nutrient dense, high volume, you're not really going to want to eat out anymore anyway. Once you see how much time it actually takes to wait in line, decide what it is you want to eat, offer them to get your order wrong, and you be in a bad mood again, increasing your cortisol levels, you'll realize you're going to enjoy cooking a lot more. Because not only are you able to make your food the way you want and how you want it to taste, you're also burning calories when you're making that food. It's a win-win. And it's a skill that you get better at over time. I absolutely love cooking. My first job ever, I was a cook. But we only cooked one thing, and it was all bad. It was deep fried stuff. I don't consider that cooking. But I also was talking about earlier, I don't know if my mic was on or not, but salads. Salads are super great for you and healthy, right? Well, it can be easy and very easy to make them unhealthy by choosing the wrong dressing. A lot of dressings are super high in calories, super high in fat. So it's important to choose a dressing that's low calorie. Add chicken to your salad. You want to get some protein. You don't just want to be eating leafy greens. The calories are going to be too low. Don't add a bunch of cheese. Don't add a bunch of fat-full dressing. Gives you some good healthy fats in there. Maybe you want to put an avocado, some grilled chicken. A great dressing is even salsa on a salad. Certain salsas are really low calorie. Instead of using sour cream, use fat-free plain Greek yogurt. Absolutely no difference in taste. Except with Greek yogurt, you're going to get plenty of protein. You get your probiotics. That's good gut bacteria. And you're going to get so much more by way of nutrients. So that's going to give you good energy. Seeds are another good healthy fat. Seeds and nuts. But even healthy fats, if you don't watch how much you're getting, it's easy to get in a caloric surplus. Peanut butter, for example. It's healthy fat. But only 2 tablespoons is 200 calories. So it's very easy to go over if you get way too much peanut butter. Never use peanut butter or nuts as a source of protein. While it may have some protein in it, it's mainly a source of fat. So the calories, the majority of the calories are coming from fat. Albeit healthy fats, you can still get fat off of healthy food. So the process of change comes with understanding things like that. You may want to opt for PB2 instead of actual peanut butter. If you really like that peanut butter flavor. You can add them to your oats, things like that. I used to do that before I added protein powder. Our rate's at 119. We're getting it done. Oh. Go ahead and pick up my heart rate a bit. I'm at 116 now. Get a good stretch of my lower abs with this. Stretch it out, you see. 124 just from that. Excuse me. So, a lot of people will say, you know, you got to find substitutions for the food you like. I don't like the word substitution. It's like a substitute teacher. They don't stick around. I'd rather use replacement. Replace these foods with those foods. Oh yeah, heart rate up to 151. Just from that, bring it back down some. Get on the saddle. Oh yeah. So yes, if you don't have a gym membership, you can still build an incredible physique. I don't know if my mic was off when I was saying that earlier. But that's how I did it in the beginning. I didn't have weights. Just did the simple push-ups, pull-ups, and cardio. We're at 503 active calories burned at 60 minutes. So we're burning about 500 calories per hour, which is right. Good zone to be in. Oh yeah. I noticed the guy who deleted all his videos that I made those 2 videos about has started posting again recently. And he's back to calling us haters. So it doesn't seem like he's learned much. If someone's trying to give you constructive criticism and help you get better, that doesn't mean they're a hater. It means they see something more in you than you see in yourself. They may see a little bit of their old self in you. And they know the necessary steps it takes to overcome that part. So I have a new video I'm going to be making today for y'all. Hope y'all enjoy that. Stay tuned for that one. Heart rate's at 125. Right in zone 2. $528 active calories in. I'm about to get off the saddle again. Increase the resistance. Increase the heart rate. Get into zone 3 for a bit. Anybody ever seen that movie Heavyweights? They make the guy trying to get you in shape the villain. hell of a psyop. Whew. No wonder the obesity rates are so high in America. Heck, I contributed to it at one point in time. I was never always in shape. It took a lot of hard work to get into shape. Now I'm just maintaining it. Down a bit. Pick up the speed. Hell yeah, man. You can contest. It doesn't happen overnight. Or you can attest. Definitely doesn't happen overnight. Like I was telling myself in the beginning, it didn't take a day to get this way. It's not going to take a day to reverse it. Stick to that grind. A lot of times I would just be eating in ways and it didn't even taste good. It's like my taste buds got tolerant to the sugar, to the pizza, to the cereal. So I'm like, why am I eating this way? It doesn't even taste it. Just wasting my health at that point. Now that we are on track, everything tastes great. Oh yeah, they profit off of unhealthy food and people's misery. They've turned it into a business model. Let's promote these fast food chains. Let's promote these alcohol companies. Let's promote degeneracy. all by design. I was even saying earlier, even down to the TV shows, the programming, it's all programming anyway, but the programming used to be a little bit better back in the day. You had good shows like Andy Griffith, USMC. Now you got my fattest, what's that show with Dr. Novak or Norvis something? Nowitzki. 600-pound life. That's what it is. Bad girls, this and that. Just stupid stuff. Reality TV, it's all garbage. Oh yeah, dude, you're gonna see a huge change. You get you a Sam's membership. Oh my goodness. Get those oats. Got a bunch of greens there you can get. Excuse me. Quest bars. They got the good tortilla wraps there. The ones that I showed in my video. I'm going to make more eating videos for y'all too. Stay tuned. Right now you only have 3 of my recipes. Well, you have 4. Including the snack, I guess. Or 5. Including the snacks. Me too, man. It's going to be a whole new change. I'm going to also go more in depth on finding your caloric numbers, what you need to find those numbers, and how I get the number that I get to of 24 to 2,600 calories a week. It's all math at the end of the day. I know I've explained it in some of my past lives, but it's all kind of broken up, and it's not just condensed into one video. So I'm going to make sure I do a video that's very simple to understand, and to where you can get your numbers and get the same result that you want to get. Because it's all math at the end of it. Everybody's numbers are going to be a little bit different, so it's important to know your number for your body to get to the goal that you want to get to. I'm going to help y'all understand how to find your numbers. I was just telling my sister how I got my number. I think it was Monday. And she was like, you definitely need to make a video out of that. So I've got a lot of content that I'm going to be sharing with y'all. Not just entertaining content, but also educating. Everybody already knows calories in, calories out. But a lot of people don't know how to find their calories, how many they need for their body. So I'm going to help everyone understand in the most simple way that I can. I highly recommend you get an Apple Watch or some, a Samsung watch, some watch that'll help you track your calories out, because that's going to factor in to the numbers that we need to know for our own bodies. I did some volume work yesterday on upper body. We just worked out on bench with 185. I did 3 sets of 10. That felt really good, so I'm excited to see how my 225 feels on the next session. We got deadlifts tomorrow. Deadlifts in a deficit. Like I was saying earlier in the video, I've cut one snack back since yesterday. I was eating 6 times a day, 3 big meals, 3 snacks. So now I'm back down to 5 times a day. I weighed myself Monday, I was 153. So I stand to be around back to 149 within maybe a week or two. We'll see. Half a pound to 1 pound per body weight a week is generally very sustainable. And that's why we recommend being in no more than a 500 caloric deficit per day. I typically like to be maybe a 200 calorie deficit. It's a bit easier to maintain for my weight. But if you're a little bit more obese or overweight, you may be able to sustain that 500 for a while, because you still have a lot of tissue on your body that your body's going to have energy to pull from. Yeah, I can't wait, man. I'm going to get back up to 3 sets of 5. And I'm going to go back to more volume work and slowly build from there. I don't think I was doing enough volume work, so I got kind of stagnant for a while. Now I'm really excited to see where I'm at. My deadlifts, I've been really doing volume, 3 sets of 10 with 500, so I'm excited to go back heavy with them too. I'm going to hammer in that volume on deadlifts. That's fucking awesome. For me, I should be back around 3 sets of 5 very soon, if not already. I think that last session I filmed, I did the first set I did 4, and then I did the last for 3. The last 2 for 3. Then we pushed it down to 205. I was doing 3 sets of 6 with that. I did 185, 3 sets of 10. So on my next session, I'm going to go back to 225. good stretch in. I feel a lot more of the muscle fibers today in my chest. Yeah, I think I'll stream it. I've been meaning to stream my deadlifts too, but I just get down there and I start, and then it doesn't really take me too long to do deadlifts. But I could stream that too for y'all. Excuse me. Matter of fact, tomorrow I'll probably go heavy on deadlifts and I'll stream it because I've been doing 3 sets of 10 with 500. We'll probably work out with 565 for the first time in a minute. $225 is a good number. You want to warm up with 135, get you a good about 5 to 7 reps of that. Then you can go into 225. I typically do about 4 reps of 225, and then I move straight into 315. If you can hit 315, that's going to be obviously a good workout weight. But if you're not used to deadlifts, that may be a little bit much for your first time, so it's better to be safe than sorry. You can try and see how 275 feels, and if that feels light, go into 315. If you don't have a strong core, I recommend a back brace. I always say my abs are my belt, so I never use a belt. But if you don't have a strong core, better to be safe than sorry. You don't want to hurt your back, for sure. You only need to put one on though when you're working out. Like if you're warming up 135, you're not going to really need a back brace. Especially when you're using proper form. You keep your core engaged. You hinge at the hips. You use your legs. Form is very important when it comes to deadlifts. Just as with any exercise. You should be able to get 315. My very first time doing deadlifts, I went for 315 with Dan, and I couldn't hit it on the first attempt. But then Rooster came on, and for some reason that gave me energy, and I fucking repped it for 3 times. So, I wouldn't say I had the best form, but I fucking hit that shit. Dan was like, what the fuck? Oh yeah. That's good, squatting 225 for reps. Squats are incredible for your quads. Depending on what deadlifts you're doing, if you're using the trap bar, you'll have a little bit more quad engagement, but it's still mostly back. And if you're doing flat bar, then it's not as much on your quads, it's more glutes and hamstrings and a lot of back. They're both great though. You have less risk for injury with the hex bar. So it's always good to, if you can, start off with hex bar. If not, it's fine. Just go a little bit lower on your weight and focus on form. But yeah, that song gave me some adrenaline for sure. When I did my first powerlifting meet in 2016, I want to say my deadlift was at 415. That's what the record stated. And I think I was like 175 weight class. I weighed a lot for the physique that I had. Now I'm at only 150, 153 as of Monday. And I can deadlift more than that, so. But it comes with consistent training, obviously. When I started deadlifts, when I got these weights, I want to say I was working with like my way up to 300 again. I might have already hit 300. But I was slowly getting to where I wasn't sacrificing form at all. But I have all the pics on my phone. I can go back and look. When it comes to deadlifting, warm-ups are very important. Just like with any exercise, you don't just put on your max weight and go. You want to get that blood flow going and all those muscles engaged before using a workout weight. Some people just try to throw on that high number and just start off with that. That's not going to fare well for those people. Unless you're already very experienced. But even the experienced people are going to warm up a little bit. So if you want, what I would do is you can bring your own bar to Planet Fitness. I've seen people do that. But you may have to be careful because they have a lunk alarm. And when it comes to deadlifts, especially when you go heavy, you don't typically lower the weight very slow. I like doing that because I like the control. But the heavier you go, the more you kind of just... You're going to make some noise when it hits the ground. Yeah, that would be cool. If I was using OBS right now, I could do that. If I get a one of those laptop, somewhere I can place my laptop on here, onto the handlebars, I could very well stream with OBS and use my phone as the video source, and I could go through and add screenshots in while I'm doing that. I'll probably consider doing that to increase the quality of the stream, give people more angles, more information, so you get more out of the stream. Also, I can use an actual microphone too, so that's actually a great idea. I'm glad you mentioned that. I never even thought about that. I was thinking about that too. They sell them online, but I'm pretty damn sure I could 3D print one. I 3D printed my phone holder right here for the Peloton. It latches on. It's right here on the handlebar. so I can see the chat. I can, if I have my music going, I can control that. But I really want to put one for the laptop up here now, so I'll probably do that today in between my studies and in between making the video. I'll get that 3D print going. I got plenty of filament, so I can go ahead and get one. I'm going to use the bathroom real fast. I'm at about almost 800 calories active burn. Get this out. That damn volume yesterday had me looking jacked. I took a picture. I don't typically do volume, but yesterday I was looking. You could definitely see the size difference. My traps, everything, shoulders. That hypertrophy was kicking in. So I'll probably do another volume session this week from upper body, and then I'll go to the 225 starting next week. Yeah, other people will definitely notice it. But once you start noticing it, that's when it's like, oh shit. It's a great feeling. And look, it's like Arnold said, I can't walk by a mirror without hitting a pose. I don't care where I'm at. You hit the pose. Hit the pose. Get down again. Yeah, man. That really helps you with maintaining it. In the beginning, you gotta just keep telling yourself mentally, like, I know this is gonna help. I know it's gonna help. It didn't take me a day to get here. It's not gonna take a day to reverse. Not comparing yourself to others. Before you know it, when you start seeing that difference, that's a big motivator to continue that maintenance. It's like, okay, now I'm at where I want to be. Now let's maintain it. Slowly start making gains over time. I notice people starting to do a double take when they look at me. Yeah. Because the average person doesn't really go to the gym. So they're trying to see, like, dang. It's like an anomaly to them. I think the percentage of people that can hit 225 on bench is very low. Lower than I expected. I remember when I used to work at as a cook back in the day, we went to the guy that used to pick me up and take me back from work. He had a brother, and they had a weight bench at his house. He was older than all of us. And we put 135 on the bar. He unracked it, and as soon as it went down to his chest, he could not lift it up. I was blown away because I thought 135 was a lightweight. Yeah, even amongst gym goers. A lot of people you see in the gym, I noticed, not all of them, but there's a majority of them that they just show up to say that they went to the gym. They talk a lot of the time, or they do the wrong exercises. They're doing too much of one thing on their body. And you can just tell the people who have like and are following a legit plan to the people that are just there to say they went. Don't get me wrong, showing up is part of the battle, but it's what you do once you show up. That's the bigger part. What you do and how you do it. I notice a lot of people, they don't rest enough in between sets. They use that old school no pain, no gain mentality to where they think that the less rest and the more pain they get is going to translate to gains. They just completely forego recovery altogether. It's all about managing your cortisol levels, which training in and of itself can help you lower your cortisol levels. But you can't just skip past your rests or not get enough rest in between. People that don't get enough sleep because they want to stay up too late. All that stuff is just as important as training itself. Oh man, did you see that video? I know you probably heard the claims of Schaubs saying he could bench press 225 for 40 reps. And he has so many people calling him out like, dude, there's no way. Even the record in the NFL Combine, I don't even think was 40. Matter of fact, let me look that up. NFL Combine 225 record. 51, okay. So that's damn near around the record, and that was set in 1999. So he posted a video of him doing reps of 225. I think he did like 28. But the whole first half of all his reps, he was lifting his butt. He was bouncing the bar. All that stuff. And he was only doing half reps. So there was 3 things that he would have been disqualified for. By the end of it, he was starting to slowly get to the full rep range of motion. But most of those reps did not count. Then you had idiots in the comments section saying, oh, they're just haters, those reps count. I was telling all of them, I was like, go to a powerlifting meet and let me know how them counting works out for you. You'll get disqualified in a heartbeat. Your butt's not allowed to come off the seat when you're doing a bench. That's number 1. Number 2, when the bar hits your chest, you have to pause until they tell you to lift up. And number 3, you got to do a full range of motion. You can't just do half rep. You got to go all the way up. Now, he's still a strong dude, but he's not hitting 225 for 40 reps. I think he said he weighs 240 pounds, so that's less than his own body weight. He could probably get a clean 20 reps. Well, you should see that video, man. That was... I don't know what he was thinking with that one. Let's get out the saddle, increase the resistance. Brendan Schaub, Joe Rogan's buddy, the ex-UFC fighter, the one he talked out of fighting in the UFC. I'm actually curious now. I'm going to look up how many people can lift 225, or what percentage of the population. Oh my goodness. I wonder how accurate this is. It says a very small percentage of the population can bench press 225. One estimate puts it around 0.075%. This means roughly 1 in every 1,000 people. Yeah, just around 0.1%. If you've never bench pressed before, surely that's going to be a hard weight to hit. I remember my first time on the bench press. You remember Butch had that bench press back when in the garage back in the day. I thought I was all bad, like I was doing curls, thinking I was strong, and I was like, yeah, put on 200, and he was like, 200? I was like, yeah, I should be able to hit it. I fucking put 200 on the bar, that shit went straight into my chest and didn't move. I was like, fuck. Yeah, that's a lot of weight. It's something you definitely got to work to train for. Especially back then, I was probably 140 pounds, maybe 130. No experience on the bench. I was looking at the percentage of people my weight and age who can deadlift what I can deadlift on the hex bar. I was in the 99.7 or it's 99.4 percentile. Let me double check. right here. Oh wait. Okay, for straight bar, I was 94%. And for hex bar, 99.7%. .77 pounds my body weight. That's what I was working out with. So if I did a 1 rep max, that would be over 4 times my body weight. Oh, that's gotta be cap right there. It says the world record for the deadlift in the 150 pound weight class is 408 pounds. I can already lift more than that. That was in 2014 though. I'm pretty sure that number is a lot higher. It's around the 500 and some change. Maybe even 600. I think that guy did 5 times his body weight. Ah. 1,600 pounds is more than Eddie Hall, which is the world record, so I don't know about that. I think he meant 600 pounds. Did you say Michael Kuntz or Michael? No, Keith McConaughey? Yeah, I don't think that's correct. Otherwise, everybody would be talking about him like they talk about Eddie Hall. Let me double check. Oh yeah, I saw this guy. Let me double check. You might be looking at his total of 1,600 because he did the squat, deadlift, and the bench press. But his deadlift, why is this private? I can't see this. He did a 606 pound deadlift. His total was 1,500, so that's from squat, bench, and deadlift. Gave him a 1,500 total. But he did 606 pounds. And he weighed 144 pounds. So that's incredible. Yeah, I remember seeing about him. Dude's a beast. 144 pounds, hitting 606 pounds. That's about over 4 times his body weight. 606 divided by 144, 4.2 times his body weight. That's elite level right there. It takes a long time to get on that level. That's incredible strength. Now you look at someone like a Mike O'Hearn. Look at his powerlifting record for the deadlift in '93. He only did, and he weighed 240 pounds at this time. He weighed 242 pounds and deadlifted 705 pounds. That's only 100 pounds more than a guy 144 pounds lifted. Mike's really not a power lifter though, he's more of a bodybuilder. So his numbers would not be that impressive in terms of like sheer powerlifting. My max deadlift at 150 pounds for the straight bar so far has been 450 pounds. So that's only 3 times my body weight. But that's still considered elite. And if we're talking about hex bar, I've deadlifted 565, 3 sets of 5 with that, which that's 3.77 times my body weight. My estimated 1 rep max on the hex bar should be around 600 and some change. Which is also elite. So I could go in, I could walk right now into a powerlifting competition, and more than likely I'll hit first place. Now, if we're talking about in the world, it'd be a lot harder to hit first place in the world. But in my state, just about any state I go into, I could hit first place. Here in Ohio, the last deadlift record for a guy weighing 148 pounds, he deadlifted 440 pounds. And that record was set in 2019. So I could easily go in there, I'm not saying easily, but I could go in there and break the state record for Ohio on the deadlift. I just got to get to the 148 pound category. Right now I walk around about 150, 154. From 149 to 154. So I would have to drop about 5 pounds. And even when I'm 149, I'm still deadlifting that weight. My back's always been pretty strong, so I even remember doing pull-ups with Dan at the gym, and he's like, damn, dude, your back's pretty nice. And I can only do about 8 pull-ups at that time. But pull-ups are more for your upper back. Deadlifts are more for your mid to lower back. Yeah, I definitely will. I already have 1 trophy, 2016. I think it's time to get another one. I just have to pay to enter in the competition. Then I have to go and get a hotel where the competition's going to be and show up that next day. That's what me and Dan did. Dan wants to compete again too. So it's just a matter of finding the time and just carving out a day to go and do it whenever they're having to meet. I would love to though. It's such a cool experience. Everything from making the weight to getting up on stage, it's incredible. But you got to be very strategic, because I believe you only get 2 attempts to lift. So the numbers that you choose have to be, you don't want to go over and not hit the weight and waste an attempt. But you also don't want to go too low and, you know, risk not hitting as much as you could have hit. On my 2016 record, even though I got first place, 415 felt super light. I felt like I could have went way higher. But that was my last attempt, so I was still happy with that. I still got first place, but still, I feel like I could have did a lot better. So it's always tricky knowing what your numbers are at. Also, when you're making weigh-ins, a lot of times the day or the night before, we won't eat anything, because we'll try to get into the best weight category that we can get. If you can get one weight category under, that's ideal. But you get as low as you can, and then after you weigh in, you refeed. You get all your calories back in, and you get ready for the lifts. You don't want to deplete too much, because then it may affect your lifts. So really important is to get those calories back in, so when you step on stage, you just kill your lifts. I had an Offspring Nitro. That was my song that was playing when I came out on stage for all my lifts. They had a couple that you could pick from. You couldn't put your own songs in there, but I saw Nitro was in there as one of the songs, so I picked that one. Woo! Feeling the sweat coming down. We're at about 1,000 calories burned, 998. So 500 calories per hour. Good number to sustain. Increase the resistance a bit, get off the saddle, increase the heart rate some. (1,004 active calories burned, 1 hour and 58 minutes in. We're making good progress. I'm liking the resistance increase. It's feeling great. Heart rate's really getting it. Feeling it more on my legs too. Oh yeah. Make you more like beasts instead of man. WC, WBA, pick me up. See, man doesn't have me. Oh, Cyrus. He's somebody that could benefit from weight training for sure. But he would definitely need to up his calories. He's probably expending a lot of calories from a certain substance that he's using all the time. Not to mention, it makes you less hungry because it's a stimulant. So he's probably not eating enough on top of that. Definitely want to have some muscle to support those bones, you know. You can suffer from osteoporosis if you don't train your muscle. Strength training is a great way because not only does it put stress on the muscles and helps them grow and support your bones, but it also does little micro fractures to your bones, which can heal and repair over time, making your bones stronger. Similar to the micro tears that it does to your muscle, and they heal and repair over time. They've done x-rays on older guys who train deadlifts the right way and found that their backs are in incredible shape. They're in incredible shape for their age. A lot of times they have backs like 20-year-olds. There's a channel on YouTube, it's called Squat University. I think he's the one who did the short on that. It's a great channel too. He goes over form and proper exercises and things like that. Imbalances you may have and how to correct those imbalances. I'll be learning more about that once I finish my corrective training on the course that I'm doing. We already learned a little bit about that in the personal training course, but the corrective training goes a lot more in depth. Then I believe I have two more. I have the transformation specialist and I have the strength and conditioning. That's going to be fun too, both of those. Increase the resistance, get off the saddle, up the heart rate. yeah. Almost at 1,100 active calories burned. We're at 1,080 right now. Some higher resistance. I want to feel it on the upswing too. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We're at 141 on the heart rate. A little bit more zone 3 today. Oh yeah, I can feel the glutes on the pull-up, on the upswing. Feel the hands in the heart. Bring it down some. I'm getting up into 151. We're at zone 4 now. We've been in zone 4 a total of 1 minute and 30 seconds this whole time. Probably going to be in it for about 2 minutes. So we're still in zone 4. Bring it back down to zone 2. And we're just now hitting the 2 minute marker. Slowly coming down. Just hit zone 3. We've been in zone 3 for 13 minutes. Average heart rate for the whole ride is 121. And for zone 2, we've been in it for 81 minutes. That's the majority. That's where we want to be for the majority of it. We're at 1,112 active calories burned. We're in zone 2. And it's only 2 hours and 9 minutes in. So we got about another 11 minutes before we start our cooldown. And then we'll do a 10-minute cooldown. We'll do the reverse pedal for our cooldown. Pick up these little weights. Little 3-pound weights. These are great to hold on when you're doing cardio. Keep your hands up, don't swing your elbows. You can really feel it in your chest and your upper back. And it'll increase your heart rate too. Right now we're at 137 on the heart rate, which puts us at zone 3. we'll probably have been in zone 3 for a good 15 minutes. On the cooldown, we'll probably be in zone 3 too, so that will probably go up to even 20 minutes. And that's very nice because typically you don't want to be in zone 3 longer than about 10 to 40 minutes. If you're more experienced, you can be in zone 3 for 1 to 3 hours. That's like experienced athletes. But the 10 to 40 minutes is the general recommendation. We used to do our entire 2 hours in zone 3. And we still could. But I hold on to more muscle when I do more zone 2 and do little bits of zone 3 here and there. Alright, we got about 8 minutes left before we do our cool down. We're at 1,142 calories burned. So we'll probably hit 1,200 before we start cooling down. I'd say that'd be not hard at all. Just over 1,200. Process of change. This is part of it. Right now we're in the maintenance phase of change. So we're maintaining, we already reached the physique we want to be, now we're just maintaining it. According to the trans-theoretical model, also known as the stages of change, you have about 6 stages. The first one being pre-contemplation. Pre-contemplation is kind of like being in denial. You don't think that you need to change. You may be unaware that there's a problem. You have low confidence, stuff like that. Everyone starts off at that stage. But the next stage after that is the contemplation stage. Which that is basically where you're aware of the problem and you're considering a change, but you really haven't made a commitment yet to take action on that consideration. The stage after that will be your preparation stage, where the individual is intending to make a change. They're intending to take action within the next month, or you've already made some small changes. After preparation, you have the stage of action, where you're actively modifying your behavior to overcome that problem. That involves the most overt behavioral changes, and that actually requires your commitment. And once you move into the next phase, that's the maintenance phase. That's where we're at right now, where you're working to prevent a relapse, and you're consolidating the gains that you've made during the action stage. They normally last within 6 months to an indeterminate period past the initial action. And then the final stage, and this is a stage you don't always have to get to, is termination or relapse. And that's where you completely eliminate the undesirable behavior. Well, no, termination, there's another stage to this one. Termination is when you finally eliminate all those bad behaviors. And you have a high, it's almost like autonomy. And then there's relapse, but not everyone hits that stage, and you don't have to hit that stage. A lot of people do hit that stage, but that's mainly because they're not following the proper training or nutrition. They're trying to do too much at once. They overwhelm themselves. They don't have a legit plan to go off of. And that's where I can help most people. My expertise is to create plans for people to help them make the proper changes that they're going to be able to sustain over time and prevent things like relapse. So if you don't already have a plan, my email is in the description. If you want to take your training to the next level, I give a lot of free information out on here, but the one-on-one coaching, you're going to get a lot more out of that. So you can reach out to me via email, and we can talk about getting you on the right path. Whether that be for nutrition, or whether that be for strength and conditioning, personal training, etc. I look forward to helping as many people as possible. Right now, 2 hours and 17 minutes in. We got about 2 minutes left, and we are just about to hit 1200 marker on our active calorie burn. We finished strong. Finish nice and strong. We're in zone 3 right now. Been in zone 3 for 16 minutes this entire ride. We just hit 1200 active calories. 2 hours and 18 minutes in. Got about a minute and 15 seconds left. Heart rate's going up, so we're off the saddle. We got about 50 seconds left before we start our cooldown. I'm going to just stay off the saddle for this next 30 seconds, 40 seconds. And then I'll do my reverse pedal for the cooldown. Woo! 139 on the heart rate. 8, 7. Shit, not much longer. 3, 2, 1, and we start our cooldown. Alright. This reverse pedal is incredible for cooldown. If you've been watching my lives recently, you'll know I do this at the end of every single session. really great for the knees, for the whole body. So we'll do this for a good 10 minutes. Cool down. We're in zone 3. Zone 3 is a good zone to be in too, especially for experienced athletes. It's a lot easier to maintain zone 3 once you've been doing it for a while. Zone 2 can sometimes be too easy, but it's still considered the fat burning zone. It's still very beneficial. Zone 3 for experienced athletes is very beneficial as well for your heart. You burn a little bit more calories, even though some of those calories are coming from your glycogen stores. It's another word for your carbs, which are responsible for also looking fuller. For every 1 gram of carbs we consume, our body will hold on to an additional 3 grams of water. Those carbs will absorb an additional 3 grams of water, which can make your muscles look fuller. So when people cut out carbs and stuff, they're losing a little bit of calories, but they're losing a lot more water weight too, which gives them that drier look on stage. That's what bodybuilders will do right before they get on stage and pose, is they'll cut their carbs drastically to get the driest, most shredded look that they can get, just by removing that water weight. It can make you look a lot more aesthetic. Your muscles will also look a little bit more flat too, so when you do it, it's very important because you can't really sustain that. You want to still look full but be shredded, so they do it, I think, a week or 2 out of their actual stage, when they get on stage. You lose a lot more calories too when you cut out carbs, so they got to be mindful of all that stuff before they step on stage. So if you hear people say all these myths about keto, like, oh, when you cut out carbs, your body stops using carbs as a source of energy and uses fat instead, that's not necessarily true. Your body is always going to be using fat as a source of energy, whether you have carbs or not. Carbs is just going to help you lose some water weight and a few excess calories, which can make you look more aesthetic, but it's never sustainable. You can start to run into problems like brain fog, lack of energy, and even worse, ketoacidosis, which can be life-threatening. So I never recommend keto or carnivore. Oh, getting my knee on the thing, the resistance knob here. Good. Got the blood flow going back to it, don't even feel it now. We got a good 5 minutes and 20 seconds to go on the cool down. We're at a total of 1,260 active calories burned. Always good to keep a slight bend in your knee too. You never want to lock your knee out when you're doing this. You want to keep that tension on your hamstrings, on your quads. So if you are doing the cycle, You want to make sure when you're doing the seat's at the right height. That's very important when you're sitting down. And when you're standing up, always be mindful of the degree of your knees. You may have to hinge a little bit at the hips, but always keep that pressure on. "30 more active calories and we'll hit the 1300 mark. We're in the high end of zone 2 right now. We got about 3 minutes and 40 seconds left of our cool down. Feeling it in our back. Getting some upswing on it. You can even backwards pedal on the saddle. Still get some good twisting on your core. So depending on what level you are with it, you can still incorporate this in your recovery. But we generally like to stand up when we do this part. "137 on the active heart rate. Active calories is 1288. And we got about 2 minutes and 10 seconds left of this cool down here. Make sure you're breathing in through your nose, out of your mouth. Really control everything to the best of your ability. 5 more active calories and we hit the 1300 marker. Now when I make this video on how to calculate your calories, how many calories you need per day, it's going to talk about all of this. Not just the calories you expend when you exercise, but also your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So I look forward to making that video. It's going to help a lot of people with weight loss, and how to find out what they need without being hungry all the time. We're at 1303 active calories burned. We got about 30 seconds left of the cool down. We're going to finish nice and strong. I'm going to increase the distance, but get a nice push down on that. 15 seconds. Oh yeah, I feel that. 3, 2, 1, and done. Woo! Another great session of cardio. We burned a total of 1300 calories. ahead and hop off this cycle now. And I'll show y'all the result as we do every time. 2 hours and 30 minutes, 1,300 calories active burned. And that's a pretty good number for where we are. So as always, I appreciate y'all tuning in to another stream. I look forward to doing more of these, sharing more knowledge with y'all. And until the next one, appreciate that, bro. I'll catch you later. Probably hop on Warzone. Also, I do stream gaming from time to time, so if y'all want to check me out on Twitch, my link will be in the description of my channel. You can look into that. Until the next one, y'all, much love and peace out.